us started.
Big room for an intimate group here. Today's always a day of celebration, and obviously, I think with that in mind, to start out with some thank yous. So much goes into recruiting, and so much goes into, you know, evaluating and, showing off the things that Vanderbilt is all about. And it's a team effort, and obviously coaches get a lot of credit for that. But there's so much work behind the scenes, and so to credit Barton Simmons and his scouting staff, Brandon Jones, Kendall Lawson, Aldo Maria, Darius Sims, they're the countless number of hours they put in evaluating film. They don't actually just evaluate the film of the players that we offer. Probably for every one we offer, there's 15 film evaluations, and so they are the bloodlines of this operation, and just appreciate their work. Andrea Kane, who this is her 32nd signing day, so she is just an absolute rock star for us, and someone who's been counted upon and depended upon for a long time, but continues to be a strength for us. And she does so much with recruiting operation, but also in the transition of a player from prospect to team member. She should be acknowledged. Obviously, Nick Valdesari and Bella Baker, who run and organize our recruiting operation and have continued to improve us in that respect. Two young people with great potential that have helped build this program into what it is and what it's becoming. And then our team of creatives, Bailey Wheeler, Sarah Campbell, Brendan Ross, Chaz Petroni. I mean, look, to make me look good is a tall task, and they're able to do that. So just appreciate all those people and the work that goes in behind the scenes. We're proud of this class. We think this class is a group that's going to continue to move our program forward, that enhances us in areas that we need, to build out depth and talent. And we're excited about them becoming a part of this family. This is a class that the starting point was off a 2-10 season, and so the early parts of our efforts here was finding guys that were tough enough to help us build this program, and that were inspired by what it is that we're doing here and have a belief in what it is we're building. And again, for them, it was belief in something before there was evidence. I think the characteristics of this group, the starting point for this class, the foundation of this class was in that toughness. And they came in contact with people in this building, men and women that they believe in, and they believe in the vision of what we're building, and we're excited to be a part of it. From there, obviously, we grew the class through the season, and on the back end of the progress and the momentum that we built there in the latter part of the SEC schedule, we think we have a great launching point, not just for Team 3, but also for the recruiting class that is to be in next cycle. And so proud of this group, and certainly excited to celebrate with them and their families today, and to celebrate with our staff. And I think one of the great things about this day is that it's the culmination of so much effort and hard work, but it also is a break point at which you shift focus and attention to building the team that is to be here for 2023, and that's exciting as well. So with that, I'm happy to open up for questions.
How do you feel about particularly the new running backs after kind of a lot of attrition this offseason in that position?
Yeah, we knew that. But first of all, I think when you look at attrition, for us, part of the growth of this roster, particularly when you're dealing with COVID years, is healthy turnover. And we appreciate everyone that's helped get us to this point, and certainly plenty of people, players who are still with us have been a part of that, and certainly some that have moved on have been a part of that. And we honor all the sacrifice and commitment that's gone on to get us to this point. That said, I think when you're looking at creating space for growth, both growth for young players, growth for the pulling in of players into the program that we feel like enhance us and build us for the future, there's a balance there. And so we finally feel like we're at a point with our roster where, we've created some room for new growth, and we've also given ourselves some flexibility to add in targeted ways as we move through the spring. With the running backs in particular, we felt like we had three backs that, we were certain that they had skill sets that would help us, enhance us on the field. Seti Alexander was kind of first in, and a guy that, was a record setter as a running back in the state of Texas. He had a great high school career and one to be really proud of. He'll be an early enrollee, and so he's a guy that we'll get a chance to see his skill set and play in the winter and spring. A.J. Newberry, who was committed to Colorado at the time that we were recruiting him, obviously made the switch to us, but he's a guy that's been 21.68 in the 200 meters. We've seen demonstrated speed from him. He's also a physical back, and is a guy that we know that when the window opens, he has a chance to break the run. And then Diego Benson, who was our latest addition, we've had at 10.85 in the 100 meters, so another guy with demonstrated documented speed, and a guy that has a physical style as well. And so it was important for us as we kind of built that room forward. We know Patrick Smith returns. He has a chance to compete to be the featured back in the room. He's earned that and has demonstrated playmaking to this point in his career. Chase Gillespie is a guy that we were excited about through the season last year. We were able to get a red shirt for him, but think that he has a chance to be very talented. Dylan Betts-Polly is another back that returns and continues to grow in his role here, but we wanted to add a group of guys that would help enhance our product on the field immediately. We're going to have to count on one or two of these guys to play next fall. We also wanted to see players that had the physical presence and the durability to run the ball in the SEC, but when the hole's there, the ability to accelerate and get past the second and third levels and score touchdowns. And I think we've had a rushing attack here that's been successful at times, that's been explosive at times, but one in which that we want to see some more long-range scores from. And so we think these three guys give us that opportunity as well.
Told a lot of these guys this morning, this is just the beginning. Why that refrain throughout the morning to tell those guys that?
Well, we're trying to mark the end of a process. So I think it's easy to look at this day from a signee's perspective and, feel like it's the finish line, but it's the starting line. The tenor changes, the relationship changes, not in its authenticity, but in the manner, the urgency with which we move forward. So this date marks the point at which we're able to get them information that'll help set a course for their early success here. And I think it's important to communicate that to them so that they create that vision for themselves as well. But we want to mark this as a beginning point for them and the start of a journey as members of the Vanderbilt football family.
You have some room to add in February and possibly take some transfers as well?
We do, yeah. I mean, I think we don't want to add for the sake of adding. What we would like to do, and I think what is strategic for us is the mid-year time slot, that crunch there with respect to transfers, just it gets, the window is very tight for us, and we don't always feel like that's the place where we can best be precise in adding the places where we have needs. I think we'll learn more about this team through the winter and spring and be able to address those areas of need very specifically as we head into that second transfer window. That said, we'll pay attention to the high school market as well and make sure we're turning over stones to see if there's a player or two that fits us for February as well. We're going to leave the window open. We're going to take a moment here just to breathe and celebrate the class that is. I think that's important, but certainly, our eyes are fixed on the goal, which is to build a roster that allows us to get in the postseason. And, that's going to take effort, certainly through February, but even through the spring and into that second transfer window.
What do you think of the wide receivers that you brought in this class?
Yeah, we were excited about that group. I mean, you're talking about three guys that have proven skill sets. London Humphreys, obviously, documented track times. I mean, he's fast. If we know nothing else, we know he can blow the top off of coverage. And to do that in our league adds value to the position. We've seen, as he's early in on his career still, we've seen him develop receiver skills that get us excited about his ability not just to be a vertical threat, but to be able to run all the routes in the tree and to catch the ball. And so excited about him. Junior Sherrill, another local product, Mr. Football, a do-it-all guy for Lipscomb Academy, and we'll want to put him in similar positions here. He's a guy that we can move around, that has a knack for getting open, has a knack for running with the ball after the catch and making people miss. And he'll be someone that we'll keep a close eye on his progress through the summer to see if he can't be in positions to give us a boost this fall. And so those two guys being local products, we're excited about the ability to add, with Nashville kids. Duran Parrish, the third receiver, is a kid with so much upside. He's a guy that is a multi-sport athlete who, again, has a knack for making plays. Here's a guy that comes to camp and all he does is compete. And that was after he'd already been offered. We had to force him out of the drill at times. He's hungry for it. You watch him on the basketball court, you see a guy with just a really dynamic skill set, and he is a really good basketball player. And a lot of times you see football guys on the court and they play basketball like they play football. Well, at least that was my case back in my day. But Duran is not that. He's very skilled, very athletic, has a knack for facilitating play and his teammates on the court, and all those things will translate to his performance on the football field for us. And then Cam Johnson too. Here's a tight end who really has receiver skills. 6'5", 205. We're gonna have to build out his frame, but another really good basketball player, a guy that came to camp. I think he was 8 out of 8 on his one-on-one reps, and we just kept throwing him back in the fire to see how he was going to take being challenged. Great family, and a guy that we think can be a matchup issue on the perimeter. And so I think we've done a lot in this class to bolster the run game and to make sure that our run game's intact. But certainly, we want to get the ball on the perimeter and get the ball vertical, and these guys give us the chance to do that.
Where do you see the tight end rooms with Bresnahan and Schoenwald moving on and then Pimpton decommitting?
Well, the personality of this offense can fit in 12 or 11. Obviously, we have good returning players in the room. That's a place where we'll keep an eye on the ability to add. We have in our system, we've shown the ability to use tight ends, and Justin Ball, Cole Spence are two guys that we anticipate having great years and great careers, and haven't had that chance yet to break out, but I think that now is their opportunity, and so we're excited about that. I think what we've done here in 2 years' time is also build depth in our receiver room. That was a big area of concern for us heading into last season, and you saw the emergence of Jaden McGowan, Quincy Skinner, Gamarion Carter, guys that were not really well-known names in the program, but we saw flashes, and then last fall they took it to the field and improved themselves. So there's an ability there to play in 11 personnel, and with the addition of the receiver skill that we've added in this class, I think that's viable for us. But we've had success with the tight ends, and we'll have an ability to still add a playmaker there, if one comes up that fits us.
Anything else?
Where do you see the quarterback situation going forward?
Well, we have, right now we have 4 guys in that room that we have faith and confidence in. Ken Seals brings veteran leadership, and he's been nothing but, a pleasure to coach, and a guy that is interested in competing for more. and I've got a ton of respect for him. You know, obviously, A.J. Swan as a freshman was able to not just break onto the field, but become the starter for us. We have very high hopes for him. He's demonstrated an ability to throw the ball on the perimeter, throw a catchable ball, lead the offense. That's huge for our growth here from year 2 into year 3 is him heading into the offseason as the starting quarterback and knowing he has to earn it every day, but also understanding that we need him to emerge as a leader on the offense. And then you have two freshmen that redshirted, Drew Dickey and Walter Taylor. Both are competitive and both feel like can in maximizing their own potential can help us win games. And what we've learned in 2 years is that it's a position where one guy plays, and I've said multiple times that I think good strategy at the quarterback position is to have a starter, not to have kind of rotational play. We've also demonstrated that we can find roles for quarterbacks and shift roles based off skill sets. We'll look to do that. And we've also learned that in this league that making it through the season with one guy is not always realistic, and so we have to have a next man up mentality, and we need those guys preparing as though they're the starter and competing as though they're the starter to position our team to win.
You're always looking for guys to rush the passer. Do you think you addressed that today?
We certainly did. I mean, I think that's an area of concern for us. We improved in our sack numbers from year 1 to year 2, but sometimes that's through pressuring, and that's not always a luxury that we have, right? You add a rusher, you lose a coverage player, and so the ability to rush forward and to win is important. To shorten the down will eliminate a lot of explosive plays, and so we've added length and athleticism. Obviously, we added a transfer to that group too, and we also feel like we have young, talented players in this program that will develop those skills from year 1 to year 2. And in Miles Caper's case, year 2 to year 3. But with the injury, missing most of the year, we're excited about where we're headed. We realize there's more work for us, but we need to shorten the down, and rushing the passer with 4 is a part of that. We addressed it in this class, we addressed it in the portal, but I think the work that we do in January and the spring, winter and spring, will go a long way in enhancing, the skill with which we rush the passer in the fall.
Well said. Thank you.
All right, thanks.